was also one of our firsts, Maria and I's firsts. This next speaker was our first customer. And the meetup was our first meetup. So I'm especially privileged to be introducing our next speaker, who is a true hero, a true entrepreneur. When I met him to talk about his idea 6 years ago, I think it was, when he described what he was about to do, he had this characteristic that I've seen a number of times since then in the startup community. Not many times, not as many times as I'd like to see, but he had what I call fire in his eyes. He had this mixture of excitement and anger that he transmitted to the rest of us, and specifically to his team as well, and has grown a very impactful business, has evolved an element of our society which we were very angry with, and his investors recently kind of spoke to a number of us. I happened to be in the room, and said, what if we unleash this gentleman on other sectors and see what he might do? I think this next talk should be super inspiring, and I'd like to welcome on stage Nikos Drandakis, the founder of Beat, now called Beat, to talk to us about the culture of Beat. Nico, always an honor to welcome you on stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Good. Thank you so much for, not for this. All I can say, getting on stage right after Uncle Bob is, well, first of all, it's an honor to be here right after Uncle Bob. But on top of that, I can add that it's intimidating and a little bit scary, to be honest. So I'll try to follow the experts' advice who say that try to be yourself. So I'll try to talk about my company, the way we build it, and the way I know it from the inside, how we did it over the last 6 years since it started in Athens, under the name TaxiBeat, which now is Beat. And this is a transition that happened over the last 6 years, which is not, in reality, it's not just a name change. It's not a change in colors and the branding. It's a transition that happened on our business model, on the way we work and the way we understand and serve our market. So 6 years ago, we started in Athens as a taxi app, an app that would work with legal taxi drivers in Europe mainly, starting from Athens. But reality confronts all your plans and expectations, and then we had this expansion in South America. Most of you know of it already. And we had a fair share of successes and failures. And during this transition, we became a ride-share business. We entered the ride-share business, which we operate right now in South America, not in Greece, at least not for now. But this transition was an enormous opportunity for us to address a much bigger market and change our product, change the technology, serve our customers in a totally different way. And that was a huge learning from us. And it opens a lot of new doors to address new markets. So where we are right now, we operate in 2 markets, Athens and Peru, Greece and Peru. And the launch in Chile is imminent in the next few weeks. In Peru, you can see that we're currently doing almost 100,000 rides per day. That means more than 3 million rides per month. That's an enormous number just for one city. And we're still growing at a rate of more than 15% month over month. So this growth that happened all these 6 years took us to this acquisition that most of you know already, that the company was acquired by Daimler earlier this year. And what Daimler acquired from us was not only obviously the markets that we operate in, our market share, the customers, the drivers, everything we do. But they also acquired our technology, an amazing product that we built with a very, very small but very efficient team. And also, what they bought is a culture. You know, we built this company with very minimal, capital, going after very big markets. We learned many, many things. And mostly we learned how to be very efficient and also very effective to get the most result with the least resources. And this is how we keep operating even after the acquisition. So one could assume that this is a classic story. You know, 4 founders start a company, and eventually it gets acquired by a bigger player, and then things start changing as time goes by. We get a little bit laid back. Our lifestyle gets improved, and our work-life balance gets a little bit better. We work less. We enjoy more of a success. This is not the case for Bit. We keep working the same way, the same attitude, with the same intense way of dealing with the market, really, really hard, again, efficient, without trying to spend more money that will solve our problems. And this is driven mainly by how we see our market, because what drives us in this market, not only me, but everyone in the company, is the excitement that we feel about the industry we operate in. The way we see it is that we work in an industry that's the most exciting and interesting industry in the world. That's how we see it, at least. So ahead of us, what we have is the end game of this market. The way we see this market going forward in the next 5 to 10 years is a market that serves the transportation needs of the people in the cities in a way that, let's say, for example, you are at home early morning, you wake up, take a shower, get dressed, you get downstairs, and an electric autonomous car is waiting for you to pick you up and take you at work. It's not a pre-booked appointment. The car is there knowing when you need this car to take you at work. So what will happen is that an extremely intelligent infrastructure knows exactly what you're doing, when do you need a car to be transported, knows your calendar, is integrated with your calendar, and does not require from you to go through a whole process of opening an app and saying, I'm here, call me a taxi, and then choose a driver, choose a taxi. It's going to be convenience is the ultimate goal, for this market. And so this vision and this idea of us driving this market going forward to this direction is extremely exciting for us. So what we want to do is to build this extremely interesting, intelligent infrastructure that will anticipate your needs in real time and also provide the autonomous car to be in the right place at the right time for you to pick you up. So how do we get there? Well, obviously one step at a time. So our goals for the next year is to launch a number of new markets, 4 new countries in South America and 2 to 3 countries in Europe, just in 1 year. We want to be that fast, that efficient, and keep our results-driven approach to the market. What we're working on right now is we are planning to build a very big technology hub in Athens in a new building. We're moving there very soon, more or less in 8 to 10 months from now. And at the same time, we're opening 2 new technology hubs, smaller, one in Amsterdam, one in Berlin. We want to go very fast also on the technology infrastructure part, but also on launching our operations in the local markets. Last but not least, I don't want to take too much of your time. I remember back then when I was participating in conferences, what it means to see, the sponsor keynote. So the last part has to be with agile processes, and this is something that we started doing about 2 to 3 years ago, slowly starting adopting Scrum methodologies and agile processes, and Thanasis Badios was one of your fellow community members, who back then was a junior iOS developer, and then he decided to enter this agile community, and right now he's our agile coach, and he was evangelizing the whole idea of the company going this direction. And we started adopting the agile methodologies, and the results we got out of this transition, at least 4 of them, there were many of them, was first of all, it took us very fast to market. We're very fast right now in taking our features and new products to the market compared to how we did it previously. We're also getting feedback from real customers. It forces us to get feedback from real customers instead of just testing internally the new features, which eventually helped us to build the right products. When you talk with the market, you know what you have to build, and also helped us prioritize what to build each time, focus on the right product and the right feature each time. Which also helped us on the alignment part, which is critical to me. Using the agile methodologies, something that worked perfectly for us is that building cross-functional teams and working with the chapters allowed us not to have siloed teams who worked isolated with each other. So we have a great communication across the whole teams on what we're working on right now on different segments of the business. So having said all that, I want to thank everyone in this community for building and improving the agile methodologies, and this way you help companies like ours to be more efficient, more effective, delivering better results and higher value to our customers. Thank you so much.
Nico, thank you.